What's up, everybody? For my mother. All right, example one. A great use of my little blue retractable stool is to use it just to get focus, right? Like I focused on the stool, and then if I didn't want it in the shot, I just walk over and put it somewhere, and I shoot from here. And today, I wanted to talk about how I am a tech nerd. Like I love technology, but I think in a different kind of way than a lot of people. Today I'm standing here in the middle of nowhere, and so I kind of wanted to show you why I come to places like this sometimes, and what's behind my storytelling, and how does technology play into the equation when I'm making a film, or when I'm doing a play too, because something that I do, which a lot of people think is ridiculous and crazy, and I've had directors tell me I'm an idiot for doing this, but sometimes I try to do things like with the most limitations possible, like where people think you can't possibly do that, that's too big of an obstacle, why bother, why not just make it easy? I like to take the hard road sometimes, you know? I like to take a more difficult path, and the reason I like to do that is because for me personally, and I'm not saying this is good for anybody else, but for me, the struggle is at the core of every one of my stories. You know, like the struggle is like not only a part of the story I'm trying to share, but I want it to be a part of the process of creating the art that is showing the story. So, yeah. Let me come a little bit closer and continue this story. But I just wanted to give you a good idea of how I'm literally in the absolute middle of nowhere. Big slab of concrete. Yeah, there's like nothing here. But I kind of like that because I could change apertures and then you would wonder where I was. I didn't have to tell you that. And you could think I was in the middle of New York City. You could think I was in the middle of the country. You could think I was by the river. You could think I was by a train. Like, you could think anything if I used a fast aperture, right? This lens happens to go to f2.8, but it's full frame camera. So f2.8 is pretty bokeh-like. And so I can use that to tell a story no matter where I am. And that kind of opens up the possibilities of shooting. Like I don't have to worry so much about locations sometimes, because sometimes I just have to get a vibe across, like an energy, you know, a certain kind of feeling. And so as much as I'm using limitations in terms of the types of lenses, not using autofocus, doing things by myself, you know, using cameras that are a little bit more, you know, basic than some of the newer cameras, I see a lot of advantages in it. And like I said, I'm personally somebody who sees an advantage in the struggle. I know that's not necessarily good for my life all the time, and it does kind of bleed over into my life from time to time, but that's how I am. And I often say to people, you know, I'm definitely ready for some easy in my life, but I also think it prepares me for stuff, you know, like when the inevitable bad things come along, which everybody has to deal with. You know, everybody deals with tragedy and loss and surprises and disappointments and all that kind of stuff. I think in a way, for me, it prepares me a little bit better to deal with things like that when I intentionally do it with my storytelling. And then when I share the story, I'm so proud, you know. I mean, I don't have to tell the audience that, but I just think to myself, man, if you only knew what I had to go through to get to this point, I mean, for example, you know, that first shot I was shooting at f4, right? But now I'm shooting at f2.8, and I'm pretty close to the camera. And I'm still in the middle of nowhere, obviously, but it's much more blurred out behind me right now because, first of all, I'm not far away from the camera like I was a minute ago. Now I'm like, I don't know, 16 inches away, maybe 12 inches, something like that, 14-ish. So I could even make it more blurry if I get closer, but you know, I'm close enough where I can mess with the ND filter like this. And it just, like I was saying, it makes me appreciate the work so much more when I have to struggle, you know, like, because a lot of the work that I do requires struggle. You know, like I'm a solo theater artist, right? And a solo filmmaking artist. I'm like a solo artist. And, you know, it wasn't originally by choice, but it's kind of become by choice over the years because I don't want to have to rely upon anybody for anything. I've been disappointed so many times. I'm so tired of feeling like, oh my God, this person's doing this great favor for me because I don't have a Hollywood budget, and so I have to just take what I can get, you know, and people go, hey, just appreciate what they're giving you because you're not paying them what they usually get paid, and all that kind of bullshit. You know, like, to me, it's all about the art. And so at some point I got to a place where I was like, you know what, if you ain't here with the same energy that I'm here with, I don't want to work with you, you know? And so what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that the struggle is part of my process. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for example, in my theater work, I talk really fast. You know, it's part of my style.
Dark thoughts pervade my insides. I mean, I feel as if I've died like 1,000,000 times. How did you find it so easy to release me? Just amputated yourself from me completely. Just cut me off, created some kind of referred history. Did you feel anything when you were disconnected from me? Were you curious at all, or am I just some kind of discarded, disposable, faded memory? You know, I did live inside you for 9 months, and you did birth me. Then you made this big fucking decision all by yourself to let it go, to give me away, and you never even told my father about me.
You know, my former theater mother who passed away, rest in peace, Barbara Van, who was the artistic director of the Medicine Show Theater, and actually somebody who gave me the keys to her theater. Unbelievable. Greatest gift I've ever received in theater. She used to say to me, I love what you do because you are requiring the audience to pay attention. You know, you're like, and you're doing it in such a way that suddenly this foreign language to them where they have to catch up and they don't know what's going on at the beginning and they don't understand, and you know, it's like, slow down. Suddenly it just seems normal to them, you know? And if they hang in there with you, they catch up, and then you do it for like 2.5 hours, and you've created this world that is like our world for 2.5 hours. Nobody else lives in this world. It's unique. It's happening right now. It's something that they can explain to somebody else later, and it's crystal clear, you know? As long as your writing is clear, as long as your inflections are proper, you know, as long as your acting is good, as long as the characters are developed, it's perfect, you know? You just have to commit to it. And you do that so well, and you know, these were like the greatest compliments I ever received because it was exactly what I was intending.
Yo, white boy. Yo, white boy, me? No, me. I look like a white boy to you? What you doing in here? Wait, you visiting somebody? Definitely not from around here. You must be lost. You some kind of an exchange student? You part of some kind of social experiment? Wow, go to school here. Today's my first day. We just moved here. Is that right? Yeah, it's right. All right. Let me get this straight. So you're saying that you are going to school here? Yeah, man. All right. It's kind of crazy, yo. It's actually kind of impossible. I'm just saying. You talking about it's impossible. Yo, man, did you hear what I just called you when you walked in the front door? What are you talking about, man? Yo, man, in case you hadn't noticed, you're white. Ain't no white people in the school. Except for the people telling me what to do all day, but whatever, I'm just saying. I'm just fucking with you. Don't be so serious, white boy. Listen, man, you be safe, all right? And yo, my name's Saint. I'm the emperor around here. Welcome to my world. And now it's your world, too. Good luck with that shit. And it's good to meet you, man. I don't really know a lot of people like you. All right, yo, I'll see you around, white boy. New birth, new life, new hope, new love. You see the boys shake hands easily, seamlessly, powerfully, and it fits like an old glove with all this complex history, all these people before them, and work and time and past and sweat and struggle and generations being covered. But now the part of the glove where the fingertips are gets cut off and the tops are open and the skin is exposed, all vulnerable and uncovered, and it's time to begin. New year at school, 9th grade, time to get to their first period classes. Jamal Sater headed in a different direction. Yo, white boy, hold up, man. You got a name or what? Alan Williams. But my friends call me Jamal. Fuck out of here, Jamal. All right, I'll see you later, white boy named Jamal. Whatever. And Jamal's off on his new adventure, the proverbial new kid on the block, navigating through his new school, trying to fit in, trying to find his way, which, you know, can be a pretty difficult situation for any 15-year-old kid moving to a new place all by himself. But in this particular case, even a little bit more complicated because, see, Jamal's family is the first white family to move to Bed-Stuy in a very long time. And so let's just say that Jamal's a big, fat, red, and white, swollen, sore thumb. Let the gentrification begin. And so, anyways, fourth period now, Jamal just walked into the lunchroom for the first time. The energy's all Brooklyn swagger, all bottom boombox, loud and brash. I mean, this is Bed-Stuy, yo. Yo, white boy named Jamal, what's up? Where you been? How you living? How you like me right now? I'm your boy, remember me? Yo, what's up, Jamal, man? How's your first day at school? Yo, Saint, what's up? It's okay. I'm okay, man. It's good. I like it here. All right, cool, man. You like it. I like to hear that, yo. Yo, white boy named Jamal. Well, hold up, Saint. What? What's up? What? I don't want to talk about it. What are you talking about? I don't want to talk about it. Come on, man. What's up? Jamal, okay. You know what? What? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you talking about? Why don't you stop calling me that? Calling you what? Why gotta keep calling me white boy? What? Why don't you drop the racist bullshit? How would you like if I called you? Stop! What? Don't be stupid. You crazy? I'm just messing with you, Jamal. I don't like that kind of shit. Okay, fine, but I don't like that kind of shit either. Okay, cool. So now I understand it. All right, cool. So now we understand each other. All right, yeah, I guess we do. Okay, cool. Then yeah, I guess we're good. Yeah, whatever. Okay, whatever, Jamal.
And so part of being able to perform like that, I used to have to rehearse walking up and down these steps in the Bronx doing my monologues. And I'm talking like steps that were probably half the length of a football field, you know. I would say at least 50 yards, 50 meters, going up and down, up and down, up and down. Like, did you see Batman in the movies? The Batman type of steps, that's what I'm talking about. Imagine walking up and down those steps, you know, 215th Street and Broadway, or is it 215th and Broadway? Like right around that neighborhood in Manhattan. Like walking up and down those steps, you know, Webster Avenue in the Bronx, you know, over by Carvel, over by Arthur Avenue. I mean, walking up and down these steps, doing these crazy fast monologues to develop my lung capacity, you know, my VO2 max. You know, it's like training to run, and I'm a runner, and I'm an athlete, so I know about training. And so I apply the same kind of commitment and dedication and diligence to my performance that I do to my athletic stuff, you know, my training. Now, a lot of people would say, why bother? You know, why don't you just talk like a normal human being? Why don't you just tell the greats? Then they start to like disparage my work. You know, they try to take shots at me like, why don't you just write a better story? Why don't you make it shorter? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? When, you know, I've had people say, cut this, cut that, and then I give them the script. I'm saying, you tell me, I say to them, you tell me, what would you cut out of this script? And usually they're like, nothing, because I learned from the best. Stephen Bishop Seeley, dramaturge extraordinaire, director extraordinaire, taught me, it doesn't matter how long it is, as long as every single word is absolutely needed in that script, you know, absolutely important, absolutely necessary, it stays. It doesn't matter if it's 4 hours or, you know, 21 minutes. It doesn't make a difference. As long as the words are necessary, you don't get rid of them. And so, yeah, I do what I have to do what I do, you know. I do the work that's necessary to be able to have the outcome that I desire, you know. And audiences have seemed to like it for a long time, so I'm really humbled and happy about that. So what about the technology do I like? Let me change the angle a little bit and continue with that. Now I'm shooting at f8, right? Feels a lot different. Plus, I'm messing with the angles too, like the camera lens. And by the way, in the spirit of doing things the hard way, of course, because I'm Rock Wilk, I'm shooting with all manual stuff. So I'm using Minolta 28mm f2.8 lens, all manual, old vintage lens, Telesor. And I have the camera not pointing right at my face, but pointing kind of mid-body so that it kind of makes me feel a little bit more distorted, because you know, a 28mm lens is not as distorted as like a 20 or a 24 or a 16 or something like that. I'm talking full frame. And so I wanted to create a little bit distortion, so I'm much higher than the lens. It's shooting right across my belly, and it should look a little cool, like kind of like that, you know, giving me some power, like I'm looking down at you, you know, because we all like to have power. So some of the technology that I really like to work with, you know, like one thing that was really important to me when I had my first camera after using a phone was that I wanted my camera to be able to do what my phone did for me, which was basically give me the opportunity to put my camera anywhere. Like when I shot my first feature film on a phone, I put that phone everywhere. You know, I hid it under, like in rock walls, and you know, windowsills on the side of buildings. I once put it on the back of a UPS truck and followed the truck for like 10 blocks down Webster Avenue in the Bronx to get some movement in a shot. I left that, you know, like there was no place I couldn't put the phone. And I felt that was like this incredible advantage, you know. And so then for a while I was working with the Sony a6400. And the a6400 gave me that kind of ability as well. And plus a lot of the APS-C lenses are small, so the camera was able to sit flush on the ground. Like it wasn't, you know, sometimes you put your lens on the camera and if it's too long, the lens, like the camera tips over to the lens. And so my Lumix S5, which is what I'm shooting with right now, Panasonic S5, it also allows me to have it flush on the ground. Like with this lens especially, because it's a small lens, I'm able to do that. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. Looked like somebody was going over to my car and I'm in the middle of nowhere and I'm like, why is this guy walking over to my car? So anyway, I like the fact that I can put the camera flush anywhere that I want. You know, I consider that a tech thing, you know. I love having a dual native ISO. That's really important to me. And also, I guess this is the last thing that I'm going to say about technology and, you know, the fact that I consider myself a tech nerd, even though I reject a lot of the technology of filmmaking. You know, when I'm just hanging around my apartment doing nothing, like, and by doing nothing, I mean washing my dishes, doing laundry, cooking, cleaning, whatever, I am forever putting the camera somewhere and just kind of shooting myself and messing around with the lights and standing at different angles and, you know, getting close-ups of my hands and my feet and stuff like that, just because I'm always practicing and I'm always trying to see what the camera can do or what it looks like in different circumstances and different situations.
You're doing fine. Don't even try to push me aside. Try so hard to turn away. It's just because you saw me yesterday. I break down. Don't remember where. Seem to recall my cold nights there. Everything you do, you see. Your life implies another part of me. Think of the words you never say. Silence this day, and you don't care for yesterday. Hey, think about it, baby. Think about it, girl. I really need to know you're gonna tell me right here now.
You know, I'll shoot in 60 frames per second and do some slow motion stuff, even though that's not really my thing. But my point is I'm always practicing, and I'm always working in different apertures, and I'm swapping out different lenses, and I'm, you know, shooting, like trying to see what anamorphic looks like indoors, or if that's even something I should do. I'm messing with the background a little bit. Like, I'm always trying to get, you know, different ideas of what I can do, so that when I have a story and I have something in my mind, I'm prepared with the technology that I have, the lenses that I have. You know, basically I work with a 28mm or a 50mm 90% of the time. Sometimes I shoot with my Helios lens, which is a 58mm lens. But generally, I'm using a Minolta 50mm f1.4 and this Minolta 28mm f2.8, like 90% of the time. So I know what the focal lengths look like, I know what they feel like, I know what I want for certain monologues, for close-ups, for stuff where I'm further away. But I'm always experimenting with it. I'm experimenting with the, you know, with the monitor on the back of the camera to see how much of it I can use. I'm always working with my waveforms and, you know, all the filmmaking tools that the Panasonic S5 makes available to me to see which ones work best for me. I work with, you know, different white balances to see what kind of colors I can work with. I work with my lights, you know, my RGB lights to see what different colors look like and how they look like with regards to the white balance in my camera. I'm always working with sound, you know, lavalier mic, how far away do I want to be from my mouth? You know, right now I have it here. Sometimes I want it here. Sometimes I want a microphone a little bit further away because I want it to sound like I have some room ambience, you know? Like sometimes I want to work with my, you know, Zoom H1N, and sometimes I want to work with the microphone on top of the camera, my Boya. Sometimes, you know, like I'm just saying, I experiment with everything. I use different tripods. I have 4 tripods, all really inexpensive. One of them a little bit more expensive, but that's for if I'm out in really bad weather and I want to make sure everything's solid. I'll go out with that tripod, but I'm always messing with different tripods just to see what kind of angles they afford me and, you know, what kind of, you know, plethora of opportunity they give me to just be as creative as I want to be. Yeah, you know, I go out into the street and I just start shooting, you know, random stuff in places where it looks like there's nothing there, just to try to create interesting shots. Like I'm constantly running around with my camera. I never, ever am without my camera, because no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I have the opportunity to practice, to work with my lenses and with my camera, and thus I can work with my aperture and my composition and my white balance and my ISO, and then I take it all and put it into DaVinci Resolve, and I can work with my editing, and I can see what it looks like, and I can learn more in DaVinci Resolve about my color grading, transitions, like all that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is, the technology is so much fun for me. I love it, you know? But I also don't like when it's in the way. And I guess if I'm being really honest, I don't want it to make everything easy for me, you know? I don't want autofocus unless it's absolutely impossible for me to focus. Let's let this ambulance go by. Yeah, I don't want the process to be easy. I want it to be what it is, you know what I mean? And I want it to be appropriate to the story that I'm telling, you know? I want the making of to be equivalent to the finished product, so that when I share it with people, I have this incredible sense of self-accomplishment, which I don't have to talk about, and I don't have to share, but I want to feel it, you know? I want to get something out of this. I don't want to not have fun making this. I love filmmaking, I love theater, I love music, I love all of it. And I'll finish by saying, as trite as it sounds, I really honestly believe it is all about the journey, you know? Because anybody with money, for example, can get to the final product. Anybody. Anybody can get there. Anybody can pay for a performance. They can get lucky and maybe somebody likes them and thinks they're talented. But not anybody can appreciate the day-to-day process, the everyday, the work, doing the work, making that your lifestyle. To me, that's everything. And so, yeah, it's all about the journey. And I want that to be, you know, my life. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please consider joining my Patreon and all of that.